Harnessing indigenous knowledge for youth empowerment.
Good morning, good evening, I believe in Tanzania. My name is Samuel Ojola Runtoba. I'm at the Institute of African Studies, Carleton University in Ottawa. And I'm the founder of African Indigenous Knowledge Research Network, which has been working with partners in Africa for the past 5 years. Today, we're having a podcast with the Maasai Indigenous group in Tanzania. And with us is Mr. Julius Edward Moringo, who is an entrepreneur, and Professor Ambrose Kessie, who is the coordinator for Maasai Research Working Group in Tanzania. So this project is made possible by support by the Mastercard Foundation. And why we are doing this podcast is to understand the challenges, of indigenous entrepreneurs and to seek for how we can support them beyond research. We want to also document the knowledge that is behind their various economic activities. So welcome. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Professor Samuel. Thank you very much. My name is Professor Ambrose Tikes. I am from the Law School of Tanzania, where I serve as the Deputy Principal for Planning, Finance, and Administration. And I served in the project as Principal Investigator. And the project is titled Indigenous Knowledge System and Entrepreneurship Among Maasai Youth and Small Business Owners in Monduli. This is where the fieldwork was conducted in Tanzania. So for nearly 2 years now, our research team conducted fieldwork in communities such as El Saili and Kingori markets. These are the colloquial areas in Maasai land, where we use interviews, focus group discussions, observation, documentary filming to understand how indigenous knowledge contributes to livelihoods. So the project generally sought to answer a simple but important question: how do communities transform traditional knowledge into economic opportunities in the contemporary rural economy? So that's from me, Professor. Just the short introduction as a principal investigator.
Thank you very much. Julius Edward, can you unmute and talk? Okay, if you cannot, let's just start. So why is indigenous knowledge important to livelihood among the Maasai, given your research that you did?
Yeah, thank you again, Professor. Indigenous knowledge is central to everyday life in Maasai communities. It includes knowledge about livelihood management, medicinal plants, milk preservation, technique, craft production, and environmental adaptation. So for many households, this knowledge functions as a practical economic resource, not simply cultural heritage. So it helps people to identify opportunities for self-employment and manage risks in environment where formal employment opportunities are not limited. So, for example, knowledge about medicinal plants allows herbalists to prepare treatments for common illness. The same as knowledge about cattle health and grazing patterns also helps pastoralists to maintain productive health. So this traditional, again, there's another aspect of traditional beadwork where techniques have evolved into small enterprises that provide income for many women, particularly the young women now from Maasai. So we saw them, they were very, very engageful, and we interacted with them most of the time during the project.
Thank you very much. So what are the various ways that indigenous knowledge can be used to support livelihood? What are the various ways across various sectors? What are the ways that, that indigenous knowledge can be used to support livelihood, entrepreneurship, and all of that?
Yeah, in one sense, through the entrepreneurship skills and knowledge, this can, first of all, it carries cultural meanings so that they can use and then they can sell their products. to tourists, to the local markets. So the income from these activities often support household needs, such as and food. So through herbal medicine, for example, the local healers, who possess detailed knowledge of plants used to treat conditions such as stomach illness or respiratory infections. So they collect these plants from the environment, they prepare the remedies, and they sell to the market, so they can get some sort of income. So we also observe some kind of dairy processing enterprises where women use traditional fermentation techniques to convert fresh milk into fermented milk. And this can also be converted to butter. So these products can also be stored for longer time and can also be sold in the marketplaces. So, and final aspect that we observed is about the cultural tourism groups, in which they organize performances and storytelling activities for visitors. Particularly, Maasai is very, very near to the famous Serengeti National Park, as well as Ngorongoro National Park. So along the way, most of the tourists will always pass through these kind of markets, and they buy some stuff from the Maasai, particularly women. So these examples demonstrate that indigenous knowledge functions as a foundation for multiple forms of rural entrepreneurship.
Great, thank you very much. So what are the challenges facing indigenous businesses in Maasai communities? I read your report, I watched the documentary, but we want to hear from you.
Oh, thank you very much. We understand the most significant challenges basically can be structured into two. They are structural, but also they're individual. So many entrepreneurs that we talked to, they lack access to capital, particularly women, artisan, or herbalists, often do not possess land titles or collateral required by the banks, which limits their ability to obtain loans. And secondly is about infrastructure, which remains a major issue among the Maasai people. There are poor roads and limited market facilities, which make it difficult to transport products or even reach customers. So many beadwork sellers operate from roadside location rather than from proper shops. Thank you. So there's also another challenge with the regulatory barriers which exist in Tanzania. For example, herbal medicine vendors, they often struggle to obtain certification that will allow them to sell their products in pharmacies, for example, or formal retail markets. So without certification from the government, they also have this kind of harassment from the law enforcers. And the other challenge that we observe is about the climate change, which poses serious risks. For example, drought, environmental changes affect livestock, medicinal plants, and other natural resources. So all this, they can affect their enterprises. So all these challenges can also show that indigenous business often operate within very constrained economic environment, which can be also social as well as economic.
What about policy? Are there policy challenges that you think can be addressed?
Yes. We need some sort of interventions from the government, from the business cadre, as well as from the local people. So, for example, these challenges could be around the following areas. First of all, there must be some specific programs, development programs, which you should recognize indigenous enterprises as local economic development strategies, rather than treating them only as cultural activities. So the point here is just to make sure that all these cultural activities, they can also be economic activities. And second, there must be some kind of a target financial mechanism that can be created for youth, particularly women entrepreneurs, who can access this kind of loans from the banks without using collateral, these conventional collateral materials. And another area of intervention, like policy, we need to have some sort of appropriate technology and training. So they must be trained maybe to keep safe whatever they sell. That can improve their productivity and product quality as well. For example, processing equipment or improved packaging could enable producers to reach higher value markets. And the last one, from the government, and here we also consider the donors, we also consider from development partners, they can establish some kind of a simplified certification system for indigenous products, such as herbal medicine or dairy products. So in one sense, the policy intervention can be geared to improve infrastructure, such as roads, market stall, digital connectivity, that will greatly enhance market access and road development.
Good. Thank you very much. Mr. Samson Luther Laiza, he was there, but now is connecting again. This has been a big challenge to us today. But okay, from your point of view as a researcher,
yes, please.
What are other areas of research to be conducted on indigenous knowledge among the Maasai? You've done a lot, but what are the other areas that you think we need to conduct more research?
Yeah, thank you, Professor. I think there are several important directions that we can take. First of all, we need to have longitudinal studies that will allow and follow up indigenous enterprises over time and to understand how they evolve and scale. And secondly, future research should examine value chains so that to determine where profits are captured and how communities can retain more value from their knowledge and products. Another area for future research can also be the need for stronger research on intellectual property and protection of indigenous knowledge, particularly in contexts where traditional design or medicinal knowledge may be appropriated without fair benefit sharing.
Thank you very much.
These areas, I think, if they are tied up, they can influence the entrepreneurship skills and development among the Maasai.
Okay. Mr. Samson Laiza, can you please introduce yourself?
Mimi naitwa Samson Lota Laiza, ni mzaliwa wa mkoa wa Arusha. Mimi ni Maasai, lakini vile vile najihusisha na biashara ya kuuza madawa ya mitishamba katika maeneo ya jiji la Arusha, katika masoko mbalimbali yanayozunguka katika wilaya ambazo zinapatikana katika mkoa wa Arusha. Na hizi dawa nimekuwa nikiuza, na hizi dawa zimekuwa zikileta faida nyingi sana kwa watu, maana watu wanaosumbuka na magonjwa ya tumbo, wanaosumbuka na vidonda vya tumbo, nimekuwa nikiuza na hata wengine nimekuwa nikiwasaidia. Na elimu hii sijaisomea, nimeridhishwa na baba yangu mzazi. Nimefundishwa nikiwa mdogo wakati naenda shule, hapo ndipo nikaanza kufanya hiyo biashara. Asante.
Asante. So why is indigenous knowledge important to livelihood among the Maasai? Why is local knowledge, indigenous knowledge, why is it important to you?
Umemwelewa
Kwa nini hiyo elimu ni muhimu?
Ameomba kwa nini
Sijamuelewa.
Mwenzako amekuelewa kwamba ni kwa nini unafikiri hii elimu hii ya watu ambao ni indigenous ile ni muhimu, kama ulivyosema unauza madawa na nini, unafikiri kuna wote wana elimu? Kwa mfano mtu ana elimu ya kuweza kutambua dawa na nini, nafikiri, hebu elezea kwa nini unafikiri ni muhimu.
Ndio. Sawa. Imekuwa ni sawa. Ni muhimu kwa sababu ni chanzo cha kipato pia. Imekuwa ikitusaidia kuweza kupata kipato, lakini ni muhimu pia kwa sababu ni rahisi pia kupatikana. Alafu pia umuhimu mwingine ni haina gharama ukilinganisha na madawa mengine ya hospital. Lakini pia umuhimu wake mwingine haina kemikali, hata kama ina kemikali lakini sio sana. Lakini pia inasaidia kutibu magonjwa mengi sana, lakini pia inatusaidia pia kudumisha mila na desturi kama wa Maasai. Ndio, asante Professor.
Professor.
Yes,
you got him. He was just narrating the importance of the indigenous knowledge. across the point that it is a source of income. It does not have cost, and also the indigenous knowledge, especially through medicine, does not have this kind of modern chemicals. It also helps the society, just providing some sort of cheaper access to medical treatment. And as Maasai is also part of their cultural values, so it enhances the cultural visibility.
Thank you. So, what are the various ways that indigenous knowledge can be used to support livelihood among the Maasai? How are you using this for your business growth? How are you applying it, indigenous knowledge?
Umeelewa?
Ndio.
Endelea basi, mjibu.
Unaweza ukachange.
Alikwambia kwamba hii elimu ulionayo, kwa mfano uliozungumzia yote, hii elimu nayo ya kuuza madawa na nini, inaweza ikatumika namna gani kuweza kusaidia watu, au inaweza ikatumiwa namna gani kwa ajili ya kuleta maendeleo katika jamii?
Inaweza ikasaidia pia kuboresha maisha ya watu, lakini inasaidia watu kuweza kujulikana pia, kwa sababu kupitia hizi dawa za mitishamba watu wanajulikana kupitia hizi dawa. Lakini pia jambo jingine, inasaidia pia, inatusaidia pia kupata pesa. Lakini vile vile inatusaidia kuweza kuwa wabunifu katika madawa mengine, namna ya kuweza kutibu magonjwa inayowakabili watu katika mazingira mbalimbali.
Sasa tuseme kwa mfano wewe ungepewa labda elimu zaidi au ukasaidiwa. Sasa hiyo elimu utaitumiaje kuweza kuwasaidia wananchi? Ungewezaje kutumia wananchi? Hiyo elimu ungetumiaje?
Kuwasaidia wananchi.
Yeah.
Nitahakikisha kwamba watu wanafahamu mitishamba pamoja na umuhimu wake katika maisha yao, hasa katika afya zao.
Hasa kina nani?
Watu mbalimbali, jinsia tofauti.
Utaangalia jinsia zote. Okay.
Ndio.
Yeah, nafikiri ukisoma anapokuuliza profesa hapo uliko, maswali yanaeleka vizuri tu. Wewe ukimwelewa anapouliza hapo, endelea tu kusema kwa Kiswahili. Nafikiri una Kiingereza kizuri tu.
Sawa.
Professor.
Sawa.
Yes.
Can you follow up any some sort of question on the importance of
indigenous knowledge? I said, how are they applying it for entrepreneurship, for creating jobs? How are they applying indigenous knowledge in this area, or for treating themselves? Some of these things you explained earlier, but I just want to hear from him.
Sasa anasema, umemelewa Julius?
Ndio.
Umemelewa Anasema sasa hii knowledge
nakusikia. Ndio.
Ulionayo unaiapply namna gani, unaitumia namna gani kusaidia hii jamii ambayo umezungumzia kwamba unasaidia livelihood, lakini sasa unawasaidia kwa namna gani? Kwa mfano ulivyosema pale, wewe unasaidia namna gani wananchi? Na unaifanya kwa mfano unauza vile vifaa vyako. Lakini
ninawasaidia wananchi kwa kuwapatia elimu namna ya kutumia hizi dawa na upatikanaji wake, kwa sababu kuna mitishamba mengine yanapatikana katika mazingira yanayotuzunguka. Kwa mfano, ninaweza nikawapa elimu kwamba mtu akiumwa tumbo, kwa mfano tumbo limesokota, ninaweza nikawaelekeza dawa ambazo zinapatikana katika mazingira yao wanaweza wakatoa mizizi au wakang'oa mizizi wakasafisha na wakatafuna, alafu pia tumbo shida ikatoweka. Kwa hiyo hizo ndizo mbinu ambazo nitatumia pia kuwasaidia kwa ajili ya kuwafundisha. Na katika kuwapatia elimu ninaweza pia nikatumia mitandao ya kijamii, ninaweza pia nikatumia makundi ya watu mbalimbali. Kwa mfano, ninapokutana na watoto, ninapokutana na vijana, ninapokutana vile vile na akina mama. Sasa katika maeneo tofauti tofauti, aidha katika maeneo ya soko ninapokuwa nikifanya biashara, makanisani au maeneo mengine ambayo kunakuwa na mikusanyiko ya watu.
Okay, sawa. Kuna njia nyingine tena?
Lakini pia nitawafundisha namna ya kuanzisha biashara zao kwa kupitia mitishamba katika maeneo mbalimbali.
Okay, Professor, I think the knowledge transfer is about providing training to other people, especially women, youth, and other interested partners. And again, to use social media. He's trying to say, do you use social media so that the knowledge can be easily transmitted to larger masses of people, and of course to help some other small enterprises to establish their own shops, small shops or small markets, and so forth.
Okay. So what are the challenges that they are having that is affecting them? What are the challenges affecting your business, and how can we address these challenges? What support do you need to address these challenges?
Yes. Umeelewa eh? Anasema ni changamoto gani ambazo
ndio changamoto ambazo tunakutana nazo. Sawa, asante. Changamoto ambazo ninakutana nazo ni miundombinu kwanza inakuwa mibovu. Lakini pia sehemu ama niseme tu kwamba duka la kuweza kuuzia inakuwa ni changamoto, na wakati mwingine tunakwenda masoko, hatuna kituo maalum. Hizo ndizo changamoto ambazo tunakutana nazo. Lakini changamoto nyingine, wakati mwingine tunasumbuliwa ndani ya soko na hawa watu ambao wanafuatilia kuhusiana na watu wanaojihusisha na biashara hizi za dawa. Wakati mwingine wakitubana tutoe vibali, na unaweza ukakuta wakati huo kibali chako muda umeisha. Wakati mwingine unatukamata na kutupeleka katika mikono ya serikali. Ili kwamba hizi changamoto ziweze kuondoka au namna kuweza kuzitatua hizi changamoto, kuna mambo yafuatayo ambayo ningetamani pia ningeweza kupata support. Jambo la kwanza ni mtaji. Mtaji wakati mwingine umekuwa ni changamoto, kwa sababu kuna baadhi ya dawa zinapatikana mbali. Kwa hivyo basi inanipelekea wakati mwingine kuweza kushindwa kuzipata kwa wakati. Lakini jambo jingine ni kuhusiana na kibali, kwa sababu usipokuwa na kibali, wakati mwingine unaweza ukauza dawa ikakuletea changamoto, baadaye utakamatwa kwa sababu hauna kibali. Jambo jingine ni ofisi. Kibali, namna ya kusaidiwa kwenye kibali ni kuweza kupata fedha ili nifike sehemu husika au sehemu wanaohusika kukata vibali hivyo kwa ajili ya kuuza madawa ya asili, ili kwamba ninapokuwa katika biashara zangu katika maeneo tofauti tofauti niweze kuepukana na huo usumbufu, maana ni usumbufu ambao wakati mwingine inaleta tatizo kwangu, maana nashindwa kufika baadhi ya maeneo kwa ajili ya kufanya hiyo biashara kutokana na kuogopa kukamatwa. Ndio. Nyingine ni ofisi, kuwa na ofisi ya kudumu. Yaani kuwa na ofisi ya kudumu. Lakini kitu kingine ni kuwa na elimu au cheti ambacho pengine itatambulika kwamba mimi ninahusika pia katika hizi dawa. Pengine kuna dawa zingine ambazo mimi bado sijaweza kuzielewa, kwa sababu mimi nazielewa tu dawa zinazopatikana katika mazingira ya Wamaasai. Dawa zingine zinapatikana katika maeneo ya makabila mengine, sijaweza kupata elimu hiyo, lakini dawa hizo zipo. Ndiyo.
Yes.
Yeah, the key challenges are on the infrastructure, particularly the roads and means of transport. And they don't have the places to sell their products. In other ways, they don't have proper places like markets or even small shops, which can be easily reached by the customers. Again, they also face challenge of local enforcers who will always chase them if they don't have certificates and they don't have the proper place to sell their products. So he's saying that they need some sort of capital so that they can solve this challenge of getting medicine, especially the type of medicine that is very far away from where they live. And also to be able, if they get money, they can be able to pay for the fees for certificates so that they can have proper authorization to sell their local products. And again, they're looking for permanent offices. I mean, like what they said, for selling and where they can put their own certificates. But lastly, they say they like training. So they would love to have some sort of training on local medicine. And not only the local medicine which is available within their areas, but also from other places which is very far to reach. So these are the areas that they need some kind of intervention.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm happy at least we're able to have this podcast. Like I said, this is for us to document our knowledge system and to know the views of indigenous entrepreneurs and to seek for how we might be able to support once we have money. So we are not just wasting your time. We are very intentional about seeking to support you. And I hope that we will succeed in doing that. Thank you so much to Professor Kessie for facilitating this meeting. Thanks to the Mastercard Foundation for providing the funding for this project. We'll get back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor. And I also say hi to the Mastercard Foundation. And we are looking forward for the next phase.
Asante.
Asante sana.
Asante
Thank
sana.
you.